Cloud engines are a tremendously important new internet computer innovation. They essentially allow you to own and configure your own corner of the cloud network without losing key advantages like tamper-proof hosting. And they're part of a massive productization push you can already see in initiatives like Caffeine. They essentially productize the internet computer by allowing it to be used much more like a traditional cloud service of the kind people are already familiar with, and provide a lot of new flexibility and control. And crucially, they also decentralize financial incentives for node providers so that node providers will be able to profit by directly selling internet computer functionality in just the same way that internet service providers profit by selling internet access.
You mentioned there's this element of configuration that feels more familiar to the end user. What does that actually look like?
Well, today, the internet computer is quite an abstract thing. You can download an SDK and you configure it, and then you can upload apps that you've built with that SDK onto the internet computer. Caffeine is a new product, and if you have an account on Caffeine, you deploy to the internet computer without ever having to touch those kind of complex mechanisms. So in a sense, Caffeine provides something much more akin to a cloud account. But that really applies to people who are using self-writing. And it still doesn't give you that much control over where exactly on the internet computer your app is running. With Cloud Engines, you're able to actually select the nodes that create your engine. It's like your own private subnet. You still have to select nodes within the rules of the internet computer, but you can say, right, I want my nodes to all be in Germany. I want my nodes to be across Europe and this thing to be GDPR compliant. I want my nodes to be distributed internationally. Or I want my nodes to be on a big tech cloud. So Cloud Engines are going to enable the internet computer to run cloud on cloud and finally integrate big tech too. So in the future, if you want to create a cloud engine that runs over 7 Amazon data centers, that'll be possible. If you want to run it over Google, that'll be possible too. And they'll give you this huge flexibility because you could create a cloud engine on Amazon, deploy your apps to it. If you wanted to later, you could then move that cloud engine to Google without interrupting any of the apps that are running on your cloud engine. If you wanted to, you could distribute your cloud engine across multiple big tech clouds for maximum resilience. If you're in Europe or some other parts of the world and you're worried about sovereignty, of course, you'd want to run this on sovereign hardware of the kind that node providers run today. So it's just a real game changer. Just like the internet runs across everything, the internet computer will too. The market will decide. And in this future, node providers are going to be selling their nodes, if you like, to those wanting to build cloud engines, and associations of node providers are going to be enabling people to create a cloud engine using their members' nodes with a one-click button, that kind of thing. And those associations will be selling the cloud engines using their members' nodes directly into enterprises. So anyone will be able to do this.
I'd like to focus a bit more on the user experience, particularly when it comes to unlocking functionality like easy scaling, for example. I assume that level of personalization would also apply in those instances.
If you're a teenager creating a social network for your family via Caffeine, probably you're very happy just going onto the sort of default internet computer network. But if you're doing something, more serious, typically in the enterprise space, you want more control. And once you've got your own private subnet, essentially, you're not co-hosting and you can control the configuration of the subnet. So for example, if you create your own cloud engine, deploy, let's say, CRM, ERP, and an e-commerce website to it, and then you find that your cloud engine's query utilization is being used up, like you're getting, say, a lot of queries relating to the e-commerce website, you can actually just horizontally scale that by adding new nodes without changing a single line of code. So once you control your own corner of the cloud network, you can scale the capacity of your apps by changing its configuration without touching a single line of code. And that kind of thing's incredibly valuable. You can also do things like configure a firewall, which determines what other software on the internet computer can directly call into your software.
What, I guess, are the economic benefits for the network moving to this approach?
If you're an internet computer node provider, you've previously created a node provider profile by registering with the network. Then you've installed what is known as Gen 2 nodes, probably in data centers around the world, and you've registered those nodes. And you receive predictable rewards from the network just from operating those nodes, even if those nodes aren't actually in a subnet and they're just in the pool of available nodes. In the future, people participating in the Cloud Engine ecosystem won't get paid by default for running nodes. However, 80% of the revenues generated by Cloud Engine will go to the nodes that are powering it. 20% will go to burning ICP. If you're an association of node providers, you can promote Cloud Engines that leverage your nodes. You can create a one-click Cloud Engine button that enterprises can use to spin up Cloud Engines using your nodes and therefore profit. So we've already got associations of cloud providers that want to market Cloud Engines to enterprise all across Europe. And it's exciting because that's how internet service providers work. Internet service providers, create their own internet subnet. But this is how the internet grew. The internet had decentralized growth economics where these ISPs were building their own corner of the internet and marketing access to it. With the Cloud Engines, the new Cloud Engine model, that same dynamic is coming to the internet computer, and that's very exciting.
Why is now the right time to be moving towards this model?
The internet computer has been under development for many years. It's reached a stage of maturity, and it's now pivoting towards the mass market. And we've already found there's a huge appetite for the internet computer through services like Caffeine. And, Caffeine's part of the story, but there are other parts too, and Cloud Engines are the next one. 2026 is the year when the internet computer truly connects with the mass market, and we're going to see massive scaling.
So there's a part of this that essentially repackages an innovative technology into something that feels more familiar, I guess, to a mass market.
Anyone in the world can use Caffeine to create apps and services on the internet computer, and increasing numbers of people are doing that. Cloud Engines just provide another way of managing those apps, the environment those apps run in. And, Caffeine will of course make Cloud Engines available within its environment. But enterprises will get, however they create Cloud Engine, they're going to get the same control panel for their Cloud Engine, the same capabilities. And for many, it'll provide like a sort of stepping stone into the internet computer environment, which of course is the only cloud created by a network. The network is the cloud. And it'll give them a more familiar kind of way of interacting with the platform. So, if you go to Amazon Web Services or Cloudflare, on their website, you'll see a sign-in button. If you sign in, there'll be a control panel. You could, on Amazon, you can use to create S3 buckets and instances. And very soon on the Internet Computer website, there'll be a button that says Create Cloud Engine. And when you do that, you're going to get your own little corner of the Internet Computer cloud network that you can configure according to your own needs. And that's exactly what a lot of people are asking us for.
So same great technology, just made a bit more accessible.
Exactly, yeah. And, putting power into the hands of the people actually using the network and giving them a product rather than this abstract decentralized network, which is already incredible and incredibly powerful, but, needs to be productized. And I think, the combination of Caffeine and Cloud Engines really put us exactly where we need to be.
All right, 2026, the year of productization.
People are going to see enormous growth in 26. It's already happening through Caffeine. And Cloud Engines are just going to pour a whole lot of fuel on the fire.